Where did you learn to sing?
I'm still learning how to sing. Funny enough, I think just practice, literally, because I didn't grow up in like a conventional standpoint.
How to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's Will Ellsworth. I'm a singer and songwriter out of Philadelphia, and I'm 20-something. I like to keep my age a little mystery, but I'm 20-something, and I'm really happy to be sitting down with CL Media.
Before we kind of get into the guitar playing and singing aspect, let's get to know you a little bit more. What's like the go-to spot that you always go to in Philly? Favorite restaurant or favorite store?
That's interesting because being a Philadelphian all my life, you would think I have like a bunch of different places to rattle off, but I'm not too sure, but I will say one of my favorite restaurants in the city, and I know I'm going to sound so crazy for saying this, but I'm a simple guy. I like places like Chili's, Ruby Tuesdays, like Cheesecake Factory. I'm real simple. Anywhere where I could just get like some good wings and a good iced tea, I'm real simple on the food too. So that's that. And in terms of hidden gems, I really like places anywhere that's got foliage and like green stuff around. So like Wissahickon Trail Park, places like Sarah Green, just anywhere where you can go that's elevated or a rooftop that you could just be like secluded. So I like that.
What are some of your other hobbies that you like to do for fun?
Well, I love fashion. Like that's one of like my go-to things. So music and fashion is like my go-to. So I love to shop. I love to go places and pick up new pieces. Love sneakers. So that's pretty much my second main thing is just like shopping or anything fashion-wise.
What's your go-to brand?
I really don't have one. Me, I'm more of a like pieces person. Like if I see somebody on the street selling like vending or selling a piece or selling anything that I think is cool, I need that. Like I'm gonna go ask, yo, can I buy that? Can I pick that up from you? So it's really not a clothing brand for me. It's just like I gotta see something that speaks to me and that tells a story. Because that's what clothes are to me. They tell a story.
Now getting into your guitar playing skills and singing.
Yeah.
Over the last 10 years, what was like kind of the biggest, all right, this is what I want to do. This is like my calling. Whether it's multiple or one big moment of like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm progressing forward in this aspect of life. And if I'm not doing this, then I don't want to do anything else.
Honestly, it's so interesting. Music for me has always been like other people telling me like, yo, this isn't really for you, but I've always stuck to it. Like it's one of those things where no matter where I went, no matter what I've done, like it's always been in the forefront of my mind, not like the back of my mind, the forefront. So I guess I would say the moment that I felt like, okay, man, this is for me. I guess I would say like over the last couple years when I could just go on like my catalog on Apple Music or Spotify and just look at like all the music that I've created in different genres and be like, wow, like I'm really into this. I'm really dedicated. Like this is truly what I enjoy. This is truly what I put my time into. So just seeing like the multitude of genres and different songs that I wrote, it really means a lot to me.
Where did you learn to sing?
I'm still learning how to sing. Funny enough, I think just practice, literally, because I didn't grow up in like a conventional standpoint from like singing. I didn't grow up in church. I didn't grow up around other singers. Like it literally was something that I always felt connected to. But when I first started, I was not good at it at all. I'll just be the first to admit it. Like I was not good at it at all. But it was something that I just felt connected to. So it was something that I just had to keep working at. Like no matter what, no matter how many people told me, like I don't know, that ain't it. That don't sound right. You don't sound good. I just kept working at it, kept singing because I had like a real affinity and a real love for singing, even though I wasn't good at it. So I guess just living life, that's where I learned how to sing, you know?
Before a performance, like before you're saying, do you have like a routine of kind of just like training your voice? Mm-hmm. During certain interviews of like interviewing musicians and everything, everyone has like, whether there's simply drink water or like, do vocal
warm-ups
and everything. What's your kind of routine before you're singing?
Well, my routine before I sing, before performance, every time is it's like going to the gym. Every time I gotta warm up because you don't want to do anything physical on a cold body. So it's one of those things, drink tea, always got to drink my tea with honey. And I always warm up. I don't feel like, it's a mental thing for me. Like I won't feel okay going on stage and singing in front of anybody or going in the studio and singing unless I've done the requisite work. So warming up, going up and down the scales, making sure I'm practicing the songs, practicing the material, but warming the voice up is the biggest thing for me. And taking care of the voice too. Proper rest, water, tea, staying away from smoking, like drinking occasionally, but yeah, just making sure you're taking care of your voice. But yes, always warming up before I touch stage.
Transitioning to kind of mixing, how did you kind of develop that skill of mixing?
Not wanting to spend money on studio time. Man, like I'll be real with you, and I got to give a big shout out to my brother Noah Ruffin, because he was one of the first people in my camp, in my friend group, who was the first one to start mixing their own music. So I'm like, damn, this guy is mixing his own music, like artist, producer, mixing his own music. He pretty much started that wave and started that for me and the people that I was around. But seeing him mix and then sitting down and learning how to mix myself, and also just having that creative freedom. Because prior to me mixing my own material, it would be, okay, I gotta wait to go to the studio. First of all, wait to get paid. Second, wait to book a studio session. And now whatever idea I had, that's 3 weeks removed because I had to wait for the two things. Just pretty much necessity and just wanting to have that creative control. Whenever I got an idea, boom, I can lay it there.
That's a good motivation to learn yourself, because those studio spaces can get pricey too.
Super. I done spent so much money on studio sessions, but I look at it like it's an investment in itself. If I had to do it again, I'd do it all over, same way, because it's an investment in yourself. So I'd say anybody that is in the studio phase right now and just like still going to a studio recording, do what you gotta do. Continue to do it, and then once you want to make that transition to record your own stuff and you feel comfortable, make the transition on your time. It's never a waste of time going in the studio and putting down material that resonates with you. So don't let anybody tell you any different.
What's your favorite song that you played on Guitar Hero 3, and how many perfects did you get?
So my favorite song was probably Barracuda. I forget the band's name, but you want to know something funny about perfects? Like, I never got any perfects. I was terrible at Guitar Hero. I'm coming clean. I was terrible at the game. Ironically enough, I always played on beginner mode because I could never get anything else. Like, anything higher than that, could never get anything higher. But I was terrible at Guitar Hero. Yeah, but my favorite song was Barracuda. Terrible Guitar Hero player.
I'm terrible at Guitar Hero too. Like, I've played, but I didn't even get like half of perfect score. Just like watching some of your content and kind of your start and everything. You said that your mom influenced you to start playing any instruments before getting Guitar Hero. What kind of has her bit like inspiration to you throughout like evolving and playing guitar and instruments? What's your relationship with her and instruments in general? Like in that way.
It's so interesting. I think it's something that's kind of always been around us, but inadvertently. Like, I remember when because she worked at an art center over in Camden, New Jersey for about 12 years. And that entire duration that she was there, I didn't want to learn anything. I didn't want anything to do with music because I was around art so much. So I showed no interest in guitar, no interest in anything else. But it's like when she left, a switch kind of flipped, and then I asked for the Guitar Hero game, and then she told me like, yo, okay, ultimatum, I'll get you the game if you learn how to play real guitar. So she has just been like very, very encouraging, and also wanting to push me in the space. So she knows like, okay, this is something that no matter what, it's important that you have a skill in any way, and especially a skill of music. That's something that's invaluable. I appreciate her just having the foresight and being aware that, you know, equipping somebody with music is like an incredible gift that you can give them.
That's definitely like that. What's the best advice that you've received outside of your mom kind of like pushing you in those stuff? What's kind of the best advice that you've had gotten over time?
Even outside of the guitar, I think if you never ask, the answer will always be no. And the worst feeling in the world is to wonder what if. So I think it's always, for me, I just do my best to implement that no matter what, let me get to the bottom of it. If I'm nervous about something, let me go full throttle and at least figure out what is at the end of the road. Instead of me just being like, well, I'm nervous, I don't know what the outcome will be, so let me just stay here. And then always have that thought in the back of my head like, damn, what if I would have did X, Y, Z, and the third? So never leave it at what if.
Do you have any advice to up-and-coming guitarists who are just learning, just starting out, and maybe struggling to learn or may not be getting the hang of it right away? Do you have any advice to up-and-coming guitarists?
Yes, and for this, I'll look right in the camera. And you, whoever's watching this, don't take no shortcuts. No shortcuts. Trust the process. It's going to be ugly. It's going to stay ugly for a while, but you trust the process. Don't let anything on the internet or anybody else around you try to deter you from what it's going to take to actually get good. Because I think we live in a world now where it's so easy to just see the best of everything all the time, and you don't see the time that it took somebody to get there. So don't look at the final result. Worry about your process. Stay in your process. Stay a student and just keep working at it. But trust the process and understand that it's going to be difficult. It's not supposed to be easy. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be good, and we know that's not the case. Yeah. Trust the process.
What's your kind of songwriting process?
It's so interesting because I don't really think I have a songwriting process. Literally, I'm not as structured as I probably should be, and it would be a lot more conducive to me if I was a bit more structured in my songwriting process. But I think sometimes I'll literally just be sitting at home, and I'll just grab a guitar, start noodling around, and then one thing lead to another. I'll just take my phone, I open up voice memos, I'll throw a couple chords down, and then I might have 15, 25, 30 seconds of a song that I might have and I might really like. Sometimes it's something that I'm like, I don't really like that idea. Or it's like, this is something that's cool. Let me continue to cultivate this and move forward with this idea. But it's not really structured at all. It's like kind of out of thin air sometimes. So I want to get to a point where I'm much more structured with my songwriting. Like, okay, like I have distinct times throughout the day where I'm working at it, like whether something comes out of it or not. But it's just very, very sporadic right now.
Are there like moments where you get like an idea for like a good lyric and you kind of just like, oh crap, I can't really like record or write it down? Do you have like a notes app or it's just like filled with like a bunch of lyricisms, or how do you kind of keep track of like all those like random brain bursts? I don't know, like how do you kind of keep track of?
It's so interesting because like my phones, like they have all those, the notes, the voice memos are filled with like hundreds of different like little pieces, whether they be like lyrics or little quotes or sayings, or I'll hum a melody into my phone, or I'll take a guitar and just strum something real fast, sit at the piano, put something down, and that'll be like 15 seconds. So my phone is riddled with them. It's, again, that's something else that's very sporadic. I want to learn how to get a lot better at that and a bit more structured, but I think that's the beautiful thing about songwriting. Like, your process is your process, and there's no such thing as right or wrong. You know, whatever works for you, works for you. So that's that. But yeah, my phones are like riddled with voice memos and notes and lyrics and stuff. So
mine is too, with like just random edits and doing everything. It's just so cool hearing like other creatives, how they like run to the piano or like guitar and or like run to notes. I was like, I have to write this idea down, or it's mainly lose it.
very much so, yeah. And that's me. I'll have to go somewhere. I'll have to run out and just go write it down and go record it real fast. So that's that.
Who is your favorite guitarist and or inspirational like guitarist that you kind of learned from, or if they coincide, or both inspirational and favorite?
So my favorite guitarist of all time is probably Slash from Guns N' Roses. That's always been my guy because I always looked at him as somebody who just had a certain mystique and aura about him, and also the fact that he was half black too. I didn't really see guitarists when I was coming up that looked like me in any way, shape, or form. So just seeing him and just seeing his style and just how he carried himself on stage, and just like he was just a cool dude, and he was killer at the guitar. So him, Carlos Santana, Kirk Hammett from Metallica, but Slash has like always been my number one guy.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there anything that you kind of like pay attention to when listening to them that kind of stand out as you like fall in love with them?
It's a mixture of just like stylistically what they do, and also style, man. Like stylistically what they do from a music standpoint, and then style. Like I've always been one of the people that I never just attach myself to the music. Somebody visually has to look cool to me. Like all my favorite artists or artists that I think are incredible, like they are visually cool looking people. Like if I saw them walk down the street, my head would turn because visually they are electrifying. You know, they have magnetic visual presence to them. So that's me. Like it's not just about what you sound like when you're on a record. It's just like, man, are you cool too? Now, I know that might be vain, but that's just me. Like you gotta be cool too.
I feel like artists' aura is so prevalent to their mystique. Other than guitars, what are your kind of like other music influences, whether it's like one specific genre or even more artists, individual artists, bands? What are your kind of other music influences?
Musical influences would be like the genre of all R&B music, the genre of R&B. So somebody like a Donnell Jones on the rock side, somebody like AC/DC, Calvin Harris. I love house. My God, there's so many different artists, but I'm literally drawing a blank. Whenever somebody asks me this question, I start to draw a blank. But there's so many different like artists and genres of music that I take from, because I think my music and my personal output is very eclectic. It's not in one space. So all that influence had to come from somewhere. So it's just, I've always been like a melting pot, just listening and just taking ideas from just like different places and just hearing stuff that I am genuinely interested in. It's all over. It's all over.
Do you have any underground artists that you listen to?
So I would say off the top of my head, there's an underground artist by the name of Sincerely Jody, who's a singer and songwriter out of the Philadelphia area. And then another artist called Go With The Motion. If I'm not mistaken, we also did a project together, Summer's Over. It was an acoustic album. And he is from, I don't want to get you wrong, my brother, but he is from Chicago or San Antonio. But he's another R&B artist, who is phenomenal. But Sincerely Jody and Go With The Motion, those are two underground guys that I really like a lot.
I'm trying to fill my playlist with more underground artists, especially in the Philly area. I listen to so much music and full mode, and I listen to more underground artists and stuff like that. Because I was saying different hidden gems of that nature.
Yeah, but those are two guys right there. Go With The Motion and Sincerely Jody for sure. And Nolo Ruffin. How can I forget that guy too? Nolo Ruffin. So those three guys right there, like incredible artists.
I love it. The reason why I found you and reached out to you was your street performances. And I kind of want to dive into your street performances and your performance in general. How do you prepare for a performance? I cannot react to this because I have a lot of different aspects of it. But yeah, how do you prepare for a performance? Whether it's the gear you bring, the mindset that you enter before a performance.
The way I prepare for a street performance is, first and foremost, I gotta sit down and literally, like I say affirmations to myself. So I'll write like a note and I'll just say I am, and I'll like underline it. Every time I look at it, I'll say I am going to have a great day. I am going to be in a good space. I am not going to let anybody, come in and disrupt anything that I'm doing today. Like I will set these affirmations that are like non-negotiable with myself. So I'll hold myself accountable. So I'll just set myself up for success from a mental and emotional space. And then from there, of course, get the equipment. The equipment generally doesn't change, banner, guitar, amp, battery pack, like gotta have the equipment. And then I'm kind of meticulous as far as like my locations, because I try not to stay in one location all day or the same locations. So of course I'll have locations that I enjoy and I like going to on a regular, but I like to kind of archetype it to what's going on in the city and what's happening, who might be around. So I really, really like that aspect of it, just looking at like the totality of it. Like, okay, man, where can I go today? Like, what's a new space? Where's some place where I haven't maybe went in a long time? I might hit Penn's Landing, I might hit South Street, which are not on my normal itinerary, but every so often I got to go down there just to get the energy. Got to. It's pretty much just go with the flow and just like figure out, okay, what will be the most optimal for what I'm trying to do today.
How do you build your stamina to go to different locations and like just in general, just like carrying all that equipment everywhere you go? That's a good idea.
That's exactly why I bought it for you. I knew I was going to need it, so I'm like, wait, if he's carrying all this equipment too, I know he's going to need more too.
Thank you so much again for that.
Absolutely.
How do you kind of build that like stamina to carry all that gear? I know, especially during a hot day or in the middle of the day.
I build it because I'm psycho. I'm out of my mind, and I just love music so much. I appreciate the craft so much that I don't care what I have to go through. I'll do the music. I just have to have it, and it's one of those things like no matter what's in front of me, like I have to navigate around that or figure out a way to get through it so I can go play that music, so I try to be as mindful about it as possible. I try not to kill myself, but there are some days where I'm just going through it. It might be 80 some degrees and I just got to go through it. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm in the middle of a major American city, so there's a lot of other variables going on. But stamina-wise, I just try to get a lot of rest, get a fair amount of rest, and the fact that I'm on the younger side, I think that helps me too. I don't want to be doing this when I'm twice my age right now. So yeah, the goal is to evolve out of this for sure.
How many days do you typically go, per week or per month?
This is a full-time job for me, so just music in and of itself, but especially street performing, I treat it no different than if I was working in corporate finance. I put myself on a schedule and I stick pretty firmly to that schedule, and I may deviate given what's going on, what else is going on in my life at the time, but generally I'm out there 3-4 times a week, consistently, week in and week out, especially if it's nice. Oh yeah, you best believe I'm out there. Gotta be, because it's nice weather and it's like liberating and enriching just going out there and literally playing music, and I see it in other people's faces too. They have that sense of, wow, that guy, you can tell that guy is to a degree, there's a certain freedom that comes with that I think every other human doesn't necessarily have, regardless of financial status or where they might be at in their career personally. Just that emotional and internal freedom of being like, yo, this is what I want to do, which is the music aspect. So, and literally playing music in front of strangers, which is crazy to a lot of people, but I really enjoy it and I really value it.
Kind of going into the weather aspect, what do you kind of do if it's out of nowhere it starts raining, or how do you, because you kind of talked about the heat and everything, but what if you get a unexpected rainstorm that starts raining, if you're ever in that situation?
You got to go for cover quick, because you got electrical equipment that is, and electricity and water does not mix last time I checked. I think it's one of those things where I do my best to always check the weather, know what I'm getting myself into, and if there is a chance of rain, I'll try to go somewhere where I know that has some sort of awning or some sort of covered area that, if need be, and I need to get out of Dodge really fast, I'm already there, or I'm a short distance from it, So I just try to be as mindful and as intelligent in my moves as possible.
Since you're out in public and there's obviously the intent to be in front of a lot of people and everything, I'm sure you have a lot of cool stories of people coming up to you and interacting with people on daily and everything, favorite stories that you have.
It's so interesting because I literally just started a series on Instagram and TikTok called Interactions with Will Ellsworth, where I just document all that, because the interactions that I have are so, they're just dope. Some of them are just so heartwarming and really dope that I really want to share that with people. But I would say my favorite one thus far, I literally just uploaded it today, but there was somebody who literally right on this corner, right outside of Ren Terminal Market, they approached me and they were like, hey, I am a huge fan of your music. I listen to your stuff at least once a day. And for an upcoming artist, that's like hearing I won the lottery. Because I'm sure a lot of artists can attest to this, man. For so long you feel like what it is that you do, your sacrifices aren't getting seen, or you're not getting heard, or you're not getting any sort of recognition, but you're working so hard and you care so much about your craft, and it's hurtful at times, but you stay into your craft and you continue to work, you continue to trust the process. But having her stop me and just say, hey, I listen to your, like, I'm one of your biggest fans. I listen to your music at least once a day, and I like it so much that I put other people onto it. Like when I'm in my car, I drive, and people ask, yo, who is this? I'm like, yo, it's Ellsworth, check him out. That was like a moment of the year for me, because for so many years, it was just not that for me. I felt like, damn, I'm writing all these songs, I'm making all these records, and nobody's listening to them. Like, I'm getting 5 plays on SoundCloud. Like, I'm getting 6 plays on YouTube, and I'm like, man, maybe it is true. But deep down, knowing that it's like, no, that's not the case at all. Like, there's somebody somewhere that is resonating with your music that you might never see. I was just fortunate enough that the person walked up on me and they told me how much they enjoy and appreciate my music. So for that and for them, I will forever be appreciative.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah. That's such a good feeling to have. Yeah. What's your favorite location to play in? What's your dream location?
So I would say my favorite location in Philly, it fluctuates because there's so many different locations that are my favorite for different reasons. Like the people who I might see, the energy, and I'm in so many different locations around the Philadelphia area that it's hard to pinpoint one, but I do appreciate every location that I go to. I do appreciate them for a lot of the same reasons, but it's so different. Like it can be so different, you know? So I like Penn's Landing. I do enjoy South Street. Of course, I would say downtown probably is like my favorite location, just because this is where everything is at. And more importantly, I will say this is where I used to see the street performers before I started doing my street performing journey. I used to see street performers and just look at them and just be like, wow, just in awe and like amazement that somebody had that level of confidence and just wherewithal to just come out here in front of strangers and play music. I can say, I guess maybe 16th and Chestnut is maybe like the most pivotal spot, because that was one location where I would always see other street performers at years and years ago and be like, damn, that's incredible. And the fact that I perform in 16th and Chestnut now is just like kind of like a full circle moment. My dream location, somewhere over in Europe, like Lisbon, I don't know, just like in front of like a bunch of people just going out there and just going crazy. I definitely say somewhere over in like Europe, you know.
I could totally just see you in Paris.
You heard it here first, CL Media, Paris, 100 people. When I'm there, I need to see y'all, okay? I'm coming there soon, okay, Paris?
How do you build confidence? How did you kind of build your confidence to perform in front of people, whether it's setting up on the stage or live concert?
I think it's one of those things. For me, it's no shortcuts. You just got to do it. You got to jump both feet in the water. Like there's no safety netting. Like there's no way to prevent or prohibit that level of anxiety or that level of fear. It's one of those things where you just got to do it. Like I would say, of course, always plan accordingly, but don't think too much. It's one of those things where you figure it out as you go. You just got to jump into it, kind of both feet into the water. And I know in a lot of cases, I wouldn't recommend that, you know, like that way of maneuvering. But for something like this, where it's like, it's a very visceral, in-your-face thing that a lot of people are too petrified to do, you just got to go out there and do it. And then once you get out there, you realize that, damn, okay, win, lose, or draw, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But me, it's just, you got to go out and just do it, literally. And I know that might sound like I'm trivializing it or making it simple, but it kind of, to a degree, it's not simple to do, but it is that simple at times. You just got to go do it. Stop thinking, stop making excuses, just go do it. And then you learn and you start to grow each performance, each time you step in front of people, each time you do something that is physically or emotionally uncomfortable for you, you grow a little bit more and more. So just do it. Go in there and do it. Try.
I love that. What are kind of like the emotions that you feel when playing and in front of people, or just like trying on your own?
In terms of emotions, I think one of the main emotions that come to me is liberation. Just like a sense of internal and emotional freedom, especially when I'm performing. And even if there's one other person watching me, when we first met, I'm pointing at you guys like this is a shared experience now. It's just not me playing the guitar. It's like when I see somebody and we're connecting, that's a shared experience. So I know from a standpoint now, I'm pouring into that other person, like, and I don't know what that's doing for them. Like that might make somebody go home and be like, yo, okay, I found it. I know what I want to do, like in whatever space that they're in, you know, like, because I know in a lot of aspects that was for me when I would see somebody else perform or do something that is a risk or daring. That's like, man, okay, they got it. I got to go find mine, you know? So I would say one of the biggest things is probably like liberation and like enjoyment at times, real enjoyment. Playing music, I'll never, ever, ever underestimate or understate the gift that is. It's a privilege to play music, and I'll do my best to make sure it's worth people's time, and I'll forever stand by that.
I definitely felt that. I mean, that's what I was so drawn to start recording music, but there was something about that energy that captivated me, and I think I have like 2.5 full minutes of just like raw footage, as you feel me, and that's like such a rarity, man, filming ability to have that much footage of like one person, but like, there's something so captivating about you.
Thank you so much. Wow, that's incredible, and I think it's one of those things, man, when you are engaged in what it is, when you believe in what it is that you're doing, when you have the right intention behind what it is that you're doing, when it's no filler, it's not for any ulterior motives. Like when you genuinely care about what you're doing, it shines through everything else. I think that's one of those things, like when I play, people feel it, like they know, like that's something that you can take to the bank. Ain't faking that. And I think it's one of those things that's also kind of irreplaceable. I'm very appreciative that it's one will. Like it's only one me, and I work hard at that. Like, and I'm very appreciative that others notice that. And thank you for noticing. It really means a lot.
Most definitely. Thank you for presenting your good to the world. You mentioned clothing and beginning of what does that kind of look like? What does that look like for you?
In terms of the fashion space, the pinnacle for me would be to create my own pieces, my own collection. I don't have a name for it. I don't have any idea of what it would look like. I have no sort of like conceptualization of that, but I just know that that's a space that I need to get into, of creating garments and creating pieces, real pieces, and taking the time to learn how to sew and actually learn the craft. I don't want to be somebody that's just going slapping labels on stuff. No, like I want to learn the craft. I want to learn what it is to make and construct a garment, learn what it is to fit on somebody's body. I don't know. I think it's as beautiful as the music aspect with it. Like the story is still being written, but yes, fashion for sure. My own garments, my own pieces.
If you ever go into a more modern other people's clothing, or like be a model of that aspect and kind of
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Step up into like as you like create your own clothing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, since you're saying, since this is being recorded, yeah. I mean, if Paris or like any Milan, if you're looking for anybody. I'm right here, my God. But yeah, I would love to like walk in like a Paris Fashion Week or just anywhere, New York Fashion Week, just go out there and just be in that space at that level. I would love to do it, and if anybody's watching, feel free, like I'm an easy guy to reach out to and find, so yeah, I'm here.
Going off of your future, kind of popping up the energy and everything, along with fashion and along with creating your own clothing, what does the future look like for you? What does the future look like for you?
It's still being written. I know I've said that like twice, but it's so interesting. I think it's tough for me to kind of compartmentalize and say like, okay, well, this, that, and the third, because I think plans, they so easily can go awry. So me, I just wake up every day and just do what fears me. Anything that I am nervous about, anything that I think, damn, this would be a great idea, or this is a cool idea, but I have no idea as to how to do it, or it's so daring, or it's like it might take a lot to do, then I have my mission. Literally anything that worries me or that I might fear or might scare me, I know that is the step in the right direction. So I literally walk toward those things all the time, every day. And that's pretty much my internal compass. Whatever fears you and whatever is interesting to you, do it, and move in that space. So that's that. But of course, more and more music, growing from the entrepreneurial space in a business space, all that, just making sure that I'm moving forward in a way that is conducive to not only the individuals that may be looking at me, but to me internally. So just continue to move forward in that space, in all spaces, in all aspects.
I love that. What does Philly mean to you? What does the city of Philadelphia mean to you?
The city of Philadelphia means everything to me, not just because of me being born here, but the energy that's here. I think it's a place that's unlike anywhere else in the world, where, especially coming out here doing what I'm doing, like you gotta earn it. There's nothing that will be given to you. So I think every day when I'm making connections with people, when I'm talking to people, it's like I'm just out here, I'm earning it. I'm earning my take. I'm coming out here and I'm eating what I'm killing. From like a hunter standpoint, like I'm going out here and I'm just doing what I got to do, because there's a certain energy here that if you ain't got it, man, you don't got it. So continue to work at it. But me, I'm just doing my best to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward and trying my best to represent the city in the best light that I can.
That wraps up the interview. Last quick question. What are your socials?
All right, bet. Once again, everybody, I am Will Ellsworth, and social media is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. That is Will Ellsworth everywhere. WILLELSWORTH. I'm sure it'll be somewhere up here, somewhere in the captions. It'll be somewhere around that you can find it, easily located. My latest 2 projects, How Can You Protect Someone from Themselves, written and produced by Will Ellsworth. That's out now. My last project, Do the Ends Justify the Means, all tracks written and produced by me. That is out on all platforms. please go get that. Please go stream that. And yeah, we're just gonna keep running it up, keep doing what we do. Thank you to everyone who's watching this. Thank you to CL Media, and thank you to the viewers. Thank you to all the fans. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap.
All right, man. Thank y'all.